Hey, we're about to kick off another interview brought to you by Hardin. That's right. If you're in Vegas, it's the #1 dispensary in the country, the craziest selection of premium cannabis. And all you got to do is shoot them a follow, Hardin_Las Vegas, HardinLasVegas.com. When you're in Vegas, tell them I sent you. Let's get into the interview. Yo, Bootleg Kev Show special guest, one of the greatest of all time. In fact, the reason why we use the word GOAT is because of this guy. Just dropped a new record that is insane too, man. LL Cool J. Thank you for your time, brother.
Bootleg Kev, what's up, baby? Happy to be here, man.
Yo, you're the first rapper in my entire life that I ever met. I was 14 in Arizona at a jewelry store. I had a XXL Avirex jacket on, an Indiana Pacers Jermaine O'Neal jersey, and I got a picture with you at a jewelry store in Arizona. And it was like the best moment of my life up until, 14 years old, so.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Well, it's funny how life comes full circle, right?
For sure, man.
I ain't hit you in the face with a pie or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
at least it worked out. Good vibes.
Hey, this new record is crazy. And I like it because, I feel like this is, when I heard a new LL record was coming, I was like, okay, it'll probably be, something for the ladies. No, you came with some real hip hop shit, like kicking off this whole rollout, man. Explain to me just why you're going this direction right away. Obviously, you're one of the greatest of all time. The beat is so crazy. It's such a boom bap beat. You got Ross and Fat Joe talking greasy on there. Like why you coming this way right now?
Yo, I was inspired by it. You know what I'm saying? Like inspired by the vibe, like the whole idea. Like, listen, if you want to survive in this world, it's like, first of all, it all started like really just kind of during the pandemic. I ran around with a mask on and with a hoodie on, and I was on the subway, and I was in the projects, and I was in all the places that you probably wouldn't think a quote unquote celebrity or artist would be. But I was by myself, and I was moving around. I was incognito. I was anonymous in the disguise. Nobody knew me at all. And what I realized is that one of the things you forget about when you're out here in this world, even if you're just someone with a good job, even if you're just an everyday working person with a really good job, you forget what's going on in the world. You forget about the danger that some people face on a day-to-day basis. You forget about some of the hardships. You forget, and one of the things I realized is that, you know what? Let me impart some of them tools, because part of surviving in this life, whether it's in the street, whether it's, at some academy somewhere, right, whether it's, you're trying to pass the bar, on whatever level you look at it, keeping your word and paying people back is a key to surviving in life. It is a key. It's called integrity. I'm not talking about moral judgment, being perfect. I ain't say that. But keeping your word, meaning what you say, saying what you mean is important. And so that's what why this song was so important to me. So when I wrote it, I said, me and Tip were talking. I was like, you know what? The sonics of this, man, it was I think Ross and Joe would sound crazy on it.
Wait, did Q-Tip do the beat?
Q-Tip executive produced my whole album.
Oh shit! Hello.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked.
So it's just this whole project. The Force is, I think, innovative, because like what I wanted to do, like my thing is that we're in a genre, and you grew up in it, so you know what I'm talking about. We're in a genre where we're used to people having a certain amount of time, a certain type of run, and then they're done. Yeah. And they step away, and that's it. And anything after that is mediocrity. But there's one key point when they rocking on top of the game, and then everything else is kind of in.
Yep.
I believe personally that's just because the genre is young. Now, people say 50 years of hip hop, and certain generations that sounds ancient. But if you say somebody transitioned at 50, you would realize how young it is.
Right.
For a genre. So
right.
It's like, yo, you know what? Let me lead by example. Let me show people that just like when James Cameron puts out a new Avatar, or when they put out a new Lord of the Rings, when a new LL Cool J album comes, it should be an event. It should be innovative. It should be groundbreaking. It should create a different type of energy. It should not be following. It should be special and unique and something that only I could do. And that's the goal. So this was just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more where that came from. You know what I mean?
Yo, shout out to Joe and Ross on the record. You have stolen the show as a feature artist quite a few times. Obviously, Rampage, EPMD, my favorite probably Serial Killers on the Blackout album with Meth and Red. Who is somebody who you've gotten a guest verse from where you were like, damn, they might have got me on this one?
Well, that's a very interesting. Well, it depends on. I'm gonna tell you, man. And this is it really depends on the type of song it is.
Right.
If it's a song where I'm really trying to go there, I've never felt that.
You've never felt that way?
No.
That's fair.
Now, if it's a song that's like more of a party thing, and I'm like doing my thing, but then they get, but yes, I've felt that before. Like I felt I felt very comfortable in my verse, but I loved what Biggie and Busta did on Flavor in Your Ear, the remix. Like I thought what they did was great. I felt good about mine too because it was so quirky and
one
unique.
of the greatest remixes ever.
Yeah, I love what I did. It was quirky. They ain't shit. It was cool, but I loved what Biggie and Busta did on that song. I thought they killed it. So yeah, and even on my new album, I have a song where I think somebody did something really, really cool. But I love that. Like I look at that as like that's what it's about. Like it's just like basketball, man. Like you're not going to go to the championship every year.
Right.
But that don't mean you can't play ball. LeBron may not be in the finals this year, but that boy can play ball. We're not going to say he can't play ball just because he ain't in the finals this year. So with the projects, I look at it the same way. It's like I might do one. Okay, I do one. I didn't lock in all the way or didn't touch. Okay, cool. But that don't mean that it ain't gonna be like you just gonna blow me out the gym.
I heard this one and it felt like a hit in the throat to remind people like, bitch, I'm LL Cool J. Like,
but you know what? It really I think that happens more organically when you're trying to have fun, as opposed to when you're trying to hit people in the throat. I wasn't trying to do that. What I was trying to do is make some dope shit. What I was trying to do is put something together that people could feel, that they could vibe to, that was relatable, that came from the soul and came from the heart. Because all of my best music, I wrote it from the heart. I didn't. I may have been anger, I may have had different fuel, I may have been feeling horny or whatever the feeling was, but whatever it was, it came from the heart. It didn't come from like a contrived place. Even like you mentioned Rampage, like that was from the heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, Saturday Night Special, baby. Let's do it.
I want to talk about longevity because when we think of like hip hop longevity, there's not a person that has more longevity than you. Like I can't. Like shout out to Run DMC and Grandmaster Flash, but they're not making music no more. You know what I'm saying? And obviously rest in peace to Jam Master Jay. But the longevity, there is a whole nother level of longevity that we're inside of when it comes to you and your career and the eras of your career and the tree that you've, whether it's the acting or the executive producing, the radio station, the festival now. Is who's an artist that you are just a fan of that's of the newer generation that you can see kind of being around for years to come like yourself?
Oh man, I think it's a lot of them. I think that Kendrick can have a long run. I think Drake can have a really long run. I think there's a lot of them. I think Future can have a long run. Yeah. I think because he's a great writer. I think that really comes down to a lot of different things, man. There's a lot of things that come into play with that. It's not just, look, first of all, you got to love it and you got to care about it. Right. And, if you're only doing it just for money, even if you happen to catch the big check, that won't be enough for you to keep going the distance because you'll get lazy. Yeah. So you have to love it.
And you're not always going to be on top, so the money's not always going to be there. So you got to put up shots just because you like putting up shots. Like you like the hoop or not?
That's true too. Well, that I know what you're trying to say, and yes, right. There's a certain amount of money. When you make a certain amount of money, you're good regardless. Right. Like, so it doesn't really become about that per se. It's not about like a salary, but it's more about like if you get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about being creatively comfortable as opposed to being willing to take some chances, take some risks. And also there's the fear factor associated with art, right? Like I could be like, yo, I could have just been afraid to make new music just because I think the world changed and just let that idea of the world changing intimidate me into thinking that I have nothing to offer as an artist. But that's not true. That's something, those are fabrications we create in our mind. You have taste. If you pay attention, you have taste. If you pay attention, you know what you want to play. You know what you want to spin. You know what you want to listen to. You know the topics you want to discuss. Like, so we all have a point of view. It's just you have to be confident enough and open enough to be vulnerable. Remember, sports is a good metaphor because most people can relate to it. The greatest athletes in the world are the most vulnerable. Why? Because in order to take the game-winning shot, you have to risk missing it.
Yeah.
And the whole world's watching. Yep. In order for to shoot that shot from the tunnel, like
you got to know you got to know what comes with missing it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that as an artist, when you're creating music and all that, it's the same idea. It's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? People could love it. You gotta love it. So you gotta have confidence in that. So me, I just love what I did. I promised people I was doing an album for the culture. I told people, I have two types of albums that I make. I make albums sometimes for me. Typically, those albums are not commercial, and only a very small handful of people really appreciate them, and most people don't. Then I have other albums that I create where I do an album that's really for the culture, where I'm really locked in and paying attention to the culture, and I do those for them. This is one of my cultural albums, so that's why it has that different feel to it. Now, that being said, there are two audiences. There's a Don't Call It a Comeback audience who've been knowing me from day one, and there's the He Raps audience who are going to be surprised by this new artist who is a celebrity. They know it's a celebrity, but may not necessarily know him as a rapper. And so you have to get something that you could press play on that both of those audiences love, or at least do your version of what you believe they'll love. You know what I mean?
Hey, we got to stop the interview to tell you about our folks at MyBookie. That's right. NBA Finals are here. So many over-unders. So much going on. I mean, look, I think I'm hammering the Mavericks to come back and win 2 games. I don't know. I could be wrong. But look, Mavs, Celtics. We got NFL season coming up. We got baseball, man. We're in the thick of the baseball season. WNBA bets are going crazy. And, of course, the full live casino, all available, mybookie.ag. You got to pull up to MyBookie and sign up for a new account right now. When you sign up for a new account, use the promo code BOOTLEG, and you'll get that first deposit bonus. That's how they do things. Get on the action, man. It could be UFC, boxing. There's so many big fight weekends happening, man. So much going on. All you got to do is go to MyBookie, man, if you want to get in on the action. Trust me when I say I've been using MyBookie for about 9 years now, 8 or 9 years. It's the best, man. Easy to get your money out. It's just the best. What are we talking about? MyBookie.ag. Sign up for a new account using that promo code BOOTLEG right now. Also, shout out to the good folks at Blue Chew. Shout out to Blue Chew, man. Look, it's hot as hell outside. I don't know what that has to do with Blue Chew, but usually when it's hot, you want to fuck some more. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, if you would like to, get over your erectile dysfunction, if you're dealing with that, maybe you're a little stressed at work, maybe you're tired of your partner. Maybe. Well, guess what? You can try Blue Chew right now. A free month supply of Blue Chew delivered right to your door. Go to bluechew.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG right now, and they will send you a month's supply for free for only $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code BOOTLEG. Now, what is Blue Chew? It is the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. It is in a chewable form. It is delivered right to your doorstep in a discreet package. And the best part about all of this, you don't have to go sit down and talk to a doctor in person. Everything's online. It's quick. Boom, boom, boom. And then your dick is rah. You know what I'm saying? That sounded like a designer ad lib. You know what I'm saying? But look, your penis will be fucking yoked up, bruh. Go to bluechew.com, promo code BOOTLEG. Let's get back to the interview. Yo, so when I was a little kid, I scoured every warehouse in Phoenix, Arizona to find the deluxe edition of DMX's It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Now, LL, why would I want to find the deluxe edition that came with an extra disc? What song was... Do you remember the song that was on the extra disc?
Was it Ill Bomb?
No, it was The Ripper Strikes Back.
It was The Ripper Strike. That's right. It was The Ripper Strikes Back. Damn, yo, that's right.
When I tell you, and the CD looked just like DMX's album. And so I had like, bro, when I tell you like that, I know that entire song by heart. Like, obviously you've been a part of legendary hip hop battles. I just got to know, just from a fan's perspective, what do you think about this, you mentioned Kendrick and Drake earlier. You just, I mean, I think it's good for hip hop. What are your thoughts about
I thought it was great for hip hop. I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was great for hip hop. I thought it was the right thing. I thought they both did well. They held their own. I thought Kendrick won, but I thought that Drake by no means did he embarrass himself or have anything to hold his head down.
He showed up. He showed up.
He definitely showed up. He did his thing. He showed up, and I think his fans can feel comfortable with that. And I think Kendrick fans, and they probably got a crossover, both of them, of fans that love them both. And I thought it was great for hip hop. And the key to that stuff is as long as it doesn't distract you from your ultimate goal, it's a wonderful thing to participate in. I love it, man.
It's a win-win.
I love it.
Yeah, it was dope to see you think cannabis too on, was it the Hall of Fame speech you had?
Oh yeah, 100%.
A couple of years ago.
Because listen, man, it's about the art. This stuff is, this is no different from, LeBron and Steph. It's no different from, Jordan when he was coming in and Magic was going out, or, whoever you want to name.
Anthony Edwards and Luka, we just saw.
It ain't no difference between Anthony Edwards and Luka.
It's just, on the court. Yeah.
If you're on the court, so you're on the record, it's cool. After that, it's not personal. I love you. It's all good, but it's hip hop and it's fun. So I think it was great for hip hop. I like it.
Talk to me about you are obviously in some legendary movies, a part of some legendary soundtracks as well. I was just talking to my boy because I just had a conversation with Damian Young from Power 106, and he was talking about the first time he heard Zoom. Because I guess
Bulworth soundtrack.
Yeah, and the Bulworth soundtrack was crazy, right? But obviously, Heart had us like a shark's fin, and any
Deep Blue Sea,
Deep Blue Sea was crazy. In your opinion, what is the best movie that has aged over the years that you were in?
Wow, me?
Yeah, that you were in, because you were in some heat, man. My personal favorite's Any Given Sunday.
I was about to say probably the one that aged the best would be Any Given Sunday, and probably In Too Deep.
In Too Deep was fire. Also, How to Rob on the soundtrack.
How to Rob, 50 Cent's first joint. Yeah, well, first song. Yeah.
Right. I had the vinyl. Yeah.
On the label. Yeah. 100%. 100%. How to Rob was on there. I think Nas was on that soundtrack. It was a few people on there. It was dope.
Okay, so this album, what made, because obviously Q-Tip is a legend, one of the greats ever, just in terms of I got Tribe as the top 3 group all time. I think he's one of the best producers to ever live. What made you guys come together and decide to do this together?
Man, it's really just kind of funny and simple. I had a dream about Phife Dawg. You know what I'm saying? And I was at the time I was working on a studio with Dre. We got like 30, 40 songs I was working on, me and him. But it was
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
Just throw that out there nonchalantly. Me and Dr. Dre got 30, 40 songs. I never, ever hear ever, but
And but I felt like I didn't feel like my pen was living up to the quality of his music. I felt like the music was better than the songs I was writing. So I decided to take a little bit of a break, and he had other projects, so it didn't affect him, and I was kind of just pulled back just a little bit, and started thinking about my writing and thinking about how I wanted to approach this thing. And then, Phife Dawg came to me in a dream, you know what I'm saying? I know it sounds crazy, but I'm really telling you the truth. No cap. This is real shit. He came to me a dream, and I was like, yo, he just was basically yo, them songs you're working on, they dope. And I was like, yeah. But then he looked at me with like a little smirk, maybe they're not so dope. And I was like, And when I woke up that next day, it stayed on my mind. And I said, you know what? Something just told me to call Q-Tip. Wow. I said, because I can't talk to Phife direct, so let me call Tip. And I called Tip up, and I'm like, yo, Tip, man. I said, yo, I want to do an album. Well, he said, well, what you want to do? I said, man, I want to do the blackest hot sauce chicken wing, flour in a paper bag, seasoning joint in the world. So it's hip hop. I said straight up. He said, what's up, big bro? Say less. Next thing we did, we went to the studio, and here we are, man. You know what I'm saying? And it just was it was inspiring. And it's not that it's excluding anybody. I just wanted to be focused. You know what I'm saying? And really make some dope shit. And we got in the studio, and it just, man, we just clicked. We just clicked in the studio, man. We just started working. And You know, I mean, look, even Saturday Night Special, that's just the tip of the iceberg, bro. Like, I'm telling you.
How many songs are on the album, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not gonna reveal it yet, but I'm gonna come back to you. We'll talk again as I'm rolling this thing out. We will talk again
in person, hopefully, because we're in LA. We're all both in LA.
Yeah, come in person, 100%.
Hey, it's the Bootleg Kev Show, man. You already know our number one sponsor, our brothers, our folks, our dogs. Day ones, Odd Socks, man. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use that promo code Bootleg right now. Get the most comfortable socks in the entire world. Now, this is what's dope about Odd Socks. Not only do they have the most comfortable socks in the world, they also have the most comfortable underwear in the world. That's all I wear. On my ass is Odd Socks. On my feet is Odd Socks. They got all the crazy licenses, whatever you're into. I mean, fucking Mountain Dew. Man, they just debuted Coca-Cola recently. Power Rangers, Transformers, man, WWE, whatever you're into, Breaking Bad, they got it. Oddsocksofficial.com, and they're dropping the new slides soon, man. So you can go get the slides, oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code Bootleg right now. Save 20% off at checkout, oddsocksofficial.com. Also want to shout out to these guys right here. It's all we're smoking, baby. I'm talking about them King Palms. Oh, my God. Look at all these King Palms. Ooh. Listen, we got so much love for King Palms. I just want to say we're thankful for those guys over there. And when I say that, when I started smoking King Palms, I felt like my smoking experience changed so much because King Palm, it's an organic smoke. It's a tasteful smoke. It is just amazing. And what's dope about King Palms is wherever you're at, you could be at, what flavor is that? What's this? You could be, I don't know, pick a city. King Palms are nearby. Hit your local smoke shop, get some. Hit that 7-Eleven, get some. This flavor's crazy. Oh my God. How about Live Life? This is chocolate? What the hell? What in the hell? Anyway, also what's dope about King Palms, if you go to King Palms right now, go to the website, kingpalm.com. Go to kingpalm.com. Use the promo code Bootleg. Save 50% off. They got so much cool shit at kingpalm.com. Not only can you get your leaves, no tobacco, no nicotine, organic flavor, they also got rolling papers. They also got leaves. Like if you're into, like, look, these are the hemp cones right here. The grape swish hemp cones. Look, whatever you're into, 50% off, ladies and gentlemen. Kingpalm.com. Ah! You know what? We're not going to open those. Shout out to King Palm. Let's get back to the interview. Last thing, LL, if you're the GOAT, I bought GOAT, by the way. I actually, you signed that album when I met you. I have it signed at my house still, framed.
That's hilarious.
I had to rip the cardboard because it was a cardboard CD. It wasn't like a jewel case. So I had to rip it to frame it. But if you're the GOAT, who's your GOAT in hip hop?
Oh, in hip hop?
Yeah, like obviously, if you're the greatest of all time, who's the greatest of all time's GOAT? Like, who you think is the GOAT? If it's not you, in your opinion, who's the GOAT?
I understand exactly what you're saying. So here's the thing. Like, here's the thing about, I just want to like kind of qualify it. See, a lot of people, and a lot of people have different criteria for that.
Right.
Most of the time, it ends up being something about wordplay and street records. Like that's usually where it ultimately lies, because most of the people that vote and think about that are a lot of males and guys, and they think about it that way, right?
Right.
I was raised in hip hop before all that, even before that, right? I mean, I became a fan when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, I was listening to tapes of the Cold Crush and the Treacherous, and before there was records on vinyl. And then when it came to vinyl, I was listening to all that too. So I say that to say this. I look at a whole package. Like, Run DMC is like the greatest hip hop group. They're unbelievable and groundbreaking. And you have to, in order to put it into context, you like when you look at these artists, right? You don't compare a Model T to a F18 or whatever, F-35, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You don't compare a Model T Ford. I'm sorry. You don't compare the Wright brothers, what they built, to a jet fighter.
To a Boeing.
You look at where the Wright brothers came from.
I look at the same way about basketball. Like, we go back to the basketball comparison. It's like you can't compare Wilt to Embiid. Like, it's
exactly
different.
Joel. Exactly. So my point, I say that to say this, because remember, everybody that came after everybody had the luxury of being influenced by the people that you're comparing them to. So ultimately, it's like compound interest on ideas and philosophy and approach, right? If this person has one person form, he gets the benefit of learning from one. It's like the youngest sibling. The youngest sibling learns from all the older siblings. The older sibling only learns from the parents.
Right.
And if they're brilliant, then maybe they can learn from the younger siblings. Right. But there's very few people that allow their minds to be flexible enough to learn from those who come after them. I'm actually like that. But it's rare. So to me, man, it's like when I look at Melly Mel, I look at, the Fury Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and I look at the Treacherous Three, and I look at Run DMC, those are great acts, man. Those are because they've made something out of nothing.
What about the person who came after you that you're
I'm a fan of too many to name, man. I mean, I like Big Daddy Kane is like my favorite rapper.
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane is unbelievable to me. I mean, he's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I love Rakim. I think Rakim is amazing.
Of course.
I love M. I think M is amazing. I think Cool G Rap is amazing. I love Prodigy. Prodigy from Mobb Deep is one of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. I love Prodigy. I love Pharoah Monch. You know what I'm saying?
Pharoah Monch. You got to say his name a lot more. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Cube, NWA. I love NWA. You know what I'm saying? I think Snoop has Snoop can say anything and make it sound great. His flow is unbelievable. He can say any goddamn thing and it would sound amazing. Like, I love him. So there's so many that I can name. Nas, his story, the vivid pictures that he paints with his story. Like, there's so many artists that I think are top tier. You know what I'm saying? The GOAT thing for me was like a manifestation of me looking at, the reason I came up with that term is because I was looking at Muhammad Ali being the greatest of all time, and I was looking at a street ball player named Earl Amanago. Mm-hmm. And Earl Amanago, they used to call him GOAT. So I took greatest of all time and GOAT and turned it into GOAT, greatest of all time, made the acronym, and then named the album. I had no idea that it would turn into
it's a thing now, yeah.
It would become part of the fabric of society and all that. I was just thinking it was cool, and that was just how I looked at myself. But I wasn't necessarily, excluding every other act. I still have my favorite acts that I love and the people that I love hearing their music. Chuck D, he has one of the most amazing voices in the world. I mean, if you never witnessed a DMX show,
I've seen X multiple times. I mean, literally.
Oh my God, man, to see X on stage is crazy. Yeah, so, sure. I mean, there's just so many great acts. Biggie, I was in the studio with Biggie wrote Who Shot You. I watched him write it.
You were in the studio with Biggie when he wrote Who Shot You?
100%.
We gotta save that story for when we sit down.
All right, we'll do that.
I want to dive into that, but I know you're on limited time, man.
All right.
Listen, any idea when the album's coming out?
It's coming out in the fall. The album's coming out in the fall, and it's called The Force. And I'll send you guys a track listing. We'll sit down. We'll talk about the track listing. We'll talk about the features. I'll be having some listening parties. I'll have one here in LA. I'll make sure they invite you. You come, you can hear it. It's going to be fun.
LL, somehow you haven't aged a day. So when you send over the track listing, send over whatever you're eating and drinking.
I will, man. I send over that magical elixir and all. Got the magic elixir and all that. Yeah.
There it is, man.